Grateful for this beautiful spring day. Spring is here. Spring is in the air. Grateful for the walk we took. Grateful for the sun. Grateful for everybody being here today. Grateful for episode 20. Do you know this?
You're taking everything.
Okay,
What am I
sorry.
going to be grateful
Okay,
for?
go.
No, I'm really grateful that we got out of the house and had a good walk. It was fun and refreshing and a little nippy, but I'm glad I had my hat. I was grateful for my hat. Okay, I had some gloves on for a minute there, but then I was like, all right, come on, get real. I'm grateful you guys are back to another episode of Plantspiration Unplugged. We're John and Stefanie Ignoffo. And we started Founders of Plantspiration. We started it to help people go plant-based for their health, the animals, and the planet.
People know us for losing whoa, I came in a little bit hot there. People know us for losing 250 pounds as a family. John and I lost 150 between the two of us, and we reversed a slew of chronic diseases that we were told were hereditary. But now we are reaching and teaching people all over the world how to get healthy too. So welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, welcome.
This is awesome. Episode 20.
Yeah, crushing it. Give me nuts.
Do you know what percentage? Let me just read these statistics to you.
Tell me. This is great.
We're all about the numbers.
Yeah, it's like
what's
dopamine
next?
Numbers and good feel good.
Maybe we shouldn't even say the numbers, like the measurements. Like, how do you measure success? We got to have something. So
I love it.
90% of podcasts don't make it to episode 20.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That's all I need to hear. Yeah, we're doing it. So what a week. I actually said, like, I'm in the blur this week.
I'm like, listen, we're getting in there. Like,
and cool down, we'll do it tomorrow. I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
No.
But I like where this is going. You said, I got this.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're going to talk about it.
Like, I have no notes. I did not use any whiteboards today. I
You
wrote
don't
episode
need-
20.
yeah.
Like, I needed to remember that.
Yeah, we got a little bit I got written down there, but
Yeah, finding yourself. This was a big time. I had that down as like, we're going to talk about some of this stuff. And then Saturday support group just kind of, I was like, you guys, how did this happen? Did I manifest that where I was like, we're going to talk about that? And then everything kind of shifted into
well, you were crushing it.
a whole room of people saying, I feel like I'm finding myself.
Yeah, no, that was it. That was it.
And I said, I couldn't even find my notes. I was like, I was going to talk about this today. We were going to do this. So
I know it. I know. We talked for like 2 seconds, and I'm like, oh, I love it because everybody in the
took off.
meeting was there.
First of all, let's back it up a little bit. Thank you, everybody. Pull up a seat, get some water, actually, or move
I need a
around.
drink.
Just
Jeez.
take a drink of
Or get
water.
on your treadmill or whatever.
Yeah,
Little walking
do what.
thingy.
Keep moving. Keep moving, and get ready to take notes. I'm sure.
And your rebounder or your bike or shopping or.
Yeah. How was your week? Also, ever since you moved to that new building, there's like no reception.
I know. It is terrible Wi-Fi.
We used to talk a little bit more often. We were in the beginning. We were talking about the podcast, like, "Hey, we'll talk about this."
Yeah, now it's
like
yeah, I'm in the dark. It's cry-fi. I don't have Wi-Fi back there. I mean,
we're
it's
like
terrible.
back to 1980. I feel like if you had a pager,
It's a big building. They already have a booster in it, but then
remember when you had
a
the
Wi-Fi
pager?
booster, and then they need to put another one on. Seriously.
Remember
We'll
the
get
pager
there.
days?
Yeah,
Maybe we should tell a little story time.
that's funny.
And what was the pager for us?
the pager? Well, that
You
was
had
just,
a pager.
Yeah, I had a pager. That was just really to
What year?
monitor your
What year? Let's go back. Let's go back in time a little bit.
98, 9,
Had to be
somewhere around there. Yeah.
98.
Yeah, so, 99 through
And you had a pager for
through
work or something, right?
04 or something.
Was
like
it
that.
for work or did we have it like, I think we bought it.
No, it was just
Our
ours.
own.
Yeah.
And really the pager was, we had certain codes.
Oh yeah, yeah. The pager, that pager was. It was more of like to really assess your day. If you paged and sent a 6, I know it wasn't that bad, and she just was looking for a 6-pack.
Can you believe this? We're telling the story.
Yeah, it was like it's not 1 through 10. It was either 6 or 12. So then I knew how her day had gone.
That's what the pager was for.
Yeah, seriously. Gosh, that was a long time ago, but
Can you believe that that's
yeah,
and that was an everyday occurrence, by the way. It wasn't like it's the weekend, it's Friday, pick me up 6, 8, 12. It was Monday.
yeah.
It was Monday. It was 3:00. kids are off the bus or whatever, kids are home. It's time for mommy to make dinner.
But it's just, how bad your knees are feeling, how bad your
It was
overall
bad.
health. And
I probably was finishing a surgery or something, getting a gallbladder out or pimping out my uterus.
Yeah, that
I went
is
through-
around when you had
It
your
was
gallbladder.
around the time.
Jeez.
That was, I didn't know who I was then.
No.
I was just like, I was doing that kind of life.
Yeah.
I didn't know
just-
I didn't know this existed.
You were just living.
So
without
we
really
don't have a
thinking about
pager.
it. You were just on autopilot, like it's just life, how we are.
True, because we were dealing with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there was more. Yeah.
Way more. Like chapter, if it would be a trilogy, if there was a trilogy for our story, there would be like
Yeah.
the now, the growing up parts, and then it would be the
Back then.
the back then part was what got us back together, and then that's a whole nother story,
Right,
you guys.
right,
That's
right.
you know what, if we
And that's not
when
today.
we'll
Today
say
we're
this,
just going to find out who we are
I'm
now.
going to put this out there. I'm going to put this out there.
All right, do it.
I
do
think
it.
episode 100 is when we'll talk about something like that.
Oh, wow. Well, stick around, folks.
Don't you think?
Heck yeah.
What do you think when I bring
I
that
think
up?
that's cool.
Okay, we'll talk about it then, because there's a
Wow.
lot.
Something to look forward to.
It's going to happen, and it's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. If you
Yeah.
just when you think you know us, there's maybe a handful of people that know some of this stuff, but
Yeah.
it's
But even they'll learn something when we
Always.
talk about it and get into it. But that's,
we're going to go way back.
yeah.
Anyway, so what a week. How was your week? No reception, have no idea. We're really looking for, I'll speak for myself, basically. I love coming in here because it's when we are having this conversation, like, how was your week?
Yeah, it was crazy busy again. I mean, it wasn't quite hell week. It wasn't like
No.
last week. That was pretty rough. But no, that was just a lot of tooling. And actually we switched the same job to a different machine.
Was this a week you worked 12 hours? Are we here in the neighborhood?
Yeah, that was Monday and Tuesday. That's right. I did a 12 and then
Should
an
we-
11.
Should we shut that?
Yeah,
all right.
that's fine. That's fine.
I'll keep talking.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh yeah, we'll keep talking. We have the windows open, you guys. Let's just be real. The windows are open. It feels nice out.
Yeah, yeah.
And kids are playing, and I love it. Are they? We're gonna leave them. It's
I love
cool.
it. I don't mind at all.
No, it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. I've been waiting for this all year. Why would I
Yeah.
shut it out? We got the
Don't
windows
shut
open.
it
That's how we're
down.
doing. We don't have some big production studio. We're John and Stefanie. Our whole life changed right before our eyes, and now we're in here talking about our new life and what it looks
Yeah,
like.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just setting up this same spring job, but a much bigger machine that can handle the type of wire. So
I don't
a lot of
understand
tools.
it all.
Yeah, a 12-hour, an 11-hour, and then 8s. I just Monday and Tuesday.
And
were
you
long.
said something to me this week. You were like, oh, here's what it was. I brought you up the stuffed shells
Oh
for
my gosh,
lunch.
those are amazing.
He doesn't work far, which is like a gift,
Yeah,
like
it's
something
like
I'm
9
so
minutes.
grateful for.
Awesome.
So I bring these shells up, and you're running around. You're going to this building. You're going to that. We should.
Yeah.
It's a little distracting. So please hold while we do some technical.
Just tell me.
Yeah. Okay. And John's getting back to his seat. Buckle up. Back into the seat.
Tell me.
I'm giving him a play-by-play.
Just tell me about bringing up the shells. Those shells
I
are
bring out the
amazing.
shells. John's like just getting back from one building. John's coming back from another building. You're all over the place.
I know. I told you I'm running. Back
Then you had parts delivered here, so I had to go run back up to your work. No, let me rephrase that.
We saved the day.
I get to go back up to your work and bring you the stuff. Well, I enjoy it. You know what I mean? It's a little break. I get out from the office, and you texted me. You go, I just want to let you know. I know how crazy everything looks, and I'm running around because I think I had like a look on my face, like, oh my gosh. And then you're going to come home, and I'm going to say, can you help me work on this, or something like that is broken, and you're going through all this. And I was like, my gosh, I don't want to ask him anything. And just then it was like you texted me and said, hey, I just want to let you know I love this.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's great. I mean, just staying busy, just cranking. Yeah, I got machines at a different building that, take the tools and special stuff.
I love
So,
this.
Yeah, it was fun.
when did you know that this is what you love?
I don't know. I've always worked on stuff since I was a kid. I just had to figure out what it was. You start on taking apart appliances and things and
Appliances.
finding out how they work.
What do you mean appliances?
Well, like it really was like the can opener, the electric can opener. They had a little grinder in the back. You could sharpen up your scissors
I know
or
exactly
whatever,
what you're talking
or your
about.
knife. So
we all had one, but wait a minute.
I had to take that apart
How
and
old
check it
were you?
out. I don't know, 9. Maybe.
And you just took it off the counter and just
Yeah,
kind
what the hell?
Was it broken?
Well, no.
You just wanted to know how it worked.
Yeah, I put it back together.
You put it back together.
Well, yeah. It's just
That's
a few
pretty
screws.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, at least you love what you do. That's
Yeah,
the important thing. What did you do? Actually, let me ask you something. What was something that you did? Because I know you've done a lot of stuff. You've been electrical engineering. You've been
Designing stuff.
What
Fixtures
did
and little
you
machines
not
and
like to
things.
do? Like, how do you? As we're talking about finding ourselves, it's almost like, finding yourself is like remembering who you were
I guess
before
when I was conscious. Yeah,
the
yeah.
world kind of got you to be who you are.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
It's kind of a circumstantial. What's the available opportunities?
You kind of need to go through the things you didn't like. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to ask you, and we have no idea where this conversation was going.
I don't even.
We wrote down finding yourself, because we wanted to explore a little bit more about this. But what was something that you did that you were like, I'm not doing this?
Well, I don't know.
I know you've like built fences. You've built houses.
I started from
You've done it all.
I was a paper boy right out the gate.
Would you do it again?
Well, no, and I saw no, but it would be nice if there were still paper boys, but it's way different now. It's all electronic, so forget that. But no, it was cool. It was fun. No, what did I not like? Yeah, it was like I worked at a concrete company for like a day. Yeah, like sledgehammering some sidewalk or something. I'm like, yeah, I'm good with that.
I did not know that.
It was like the next day, you can't even get out of bed to go work.
You were like, I'm done with this.
Yeah, why did they do that to me?
That's
I'm not going back.
They
They know.
to me.
I want a whole day here. Here's a 20-pound sledge. Break all this.
I say you kind of have to go through the wrong roads or down, some of this stuff, or else you really don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Everything doesn't just go smooth. Everything doesn't just go. I had no idea that I would be doing what I was doing. I mean, a psychic told me that I would be doing it before I was doing it, which was weird. Didn't know this. Didn't even have it on the.
Weird.
That was weird.
Like your first job. What was your first job?
My first job was working at Sammy's flipping burgers. That was like my first job.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I mean, I worked for my dad. That was like my first job.
Well,
like I would go to work like that.
Yeah.
A couple, little bits.
No, but yeah, you're down there flipping burgers and
that was my first job, and I loved it.
Sandwiches and all this stuff, and you're the exact opposite of that now.
Exact opposite. But I mean, I'm still fun. I was still having fun. I still loved what I did.
Just
like I looked
flipping
forward
bean
to
burgers now.
I'm flipping bean burgers now, but that's not really my job. I mean,
no, I know. I'm just
and then
playing.
my second favorite,
your job. I wasn't even thinking about the Sammys. That was
my main. Like when I really had to I'm into this forever career.
Yeah, when you're like an adult.
Oh, I loved working at Marshall Fields. That was like my first job. I went in there to do like seasonal. I got hired to work the candy counter. I wasn't really into candy. So they asked me to stay and go into intimate apparel.
I know.
And at the time, it was like the Bears were popular. The Chicago Bears were popular. It was like 1989. And the wives would come in all the time. So it was like, this was a cool job right out the gate, right out of, high school. This is what I was doing.
Yeah, wow.
So I loved it. And then I worked there for a few years. And then, that's another story. What happened, how I wasn't working at the job. My life went down a whole nother area. We were both... I'm just not even going to say it. Yeah, 80. Episode 80. We'll talk about our life before we got back together. There's a lot that we've gone through. But anyway, all of this is kind of, I guess, finding yourself.
Yeah, really.
And then we just hear everybody finding themselves.
Yeah.
Most of my life was a dang blur of dieting and drinking. And that's what I thought I was as a dieter. I'm Stefanie, and I'm on this diet.
Yeah.
This is my disease. This is what's wrong with me. Myself was being sick for a long time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know, that was my identity.
I was right there with you. I was like, because like I wanted to lose weight, low key. Not letting you know. Like, yeah, I'm going with her to support her at Weight
you
Watchers
never really
and stuff.
said I'm going on a diet.
But I'm like, I could lose a few
I didn't know
pounds
that.
myself.
No, I didn't know that. As I'm over here trying to get you bigger so that I looked smaller. Like I felt like I was constantly feeding you. But you grow up and you hear that.
I was eating machine.
And then you hear these things like a way to a man's heart is through food.
I'm like, well, that's the way to clog his heart.
But that is what people. But that is what people are. A lot of people are thinking that kind of stuff.
No, and that's so sweet. That's so nice.
I thought I was doing the right thing, while I was eating, feeding you to death.
I know. And now look, we just had
sorry.
a cholesterol class.
Yeah, that was.
Well, now we're making you made up for it with the teachings of the
undoing
cholesterol.
it.
Yeah, the undoing of the cholesterol and fat clog.
And a lot of people are not aware you can reduce your cholesterol in as quick as 11 hours just by taking dietary cholesterol out. Now, that's a whole conversation.
That's why right in the beginning it was like, holy energy, Batman. Like,
yeah, you're getting the fat out, you're getting cholesterol out. This is going plant-based, whole food plant-based. I hate to have to explain it. When you start eating plants and you're not eating processed foods and you're, fruits, vegetables.
Actual plants that, are one
zero cholesterol
word ingredient kind of
no
thing.
Cholesterol, anti-inflammatory, high octane, super fuel. I was paging him for beers. Now I'm paging him for kale.
Yeah.
Pick up some kale. We need more.
Smoothie time, folks.
But
or
that's kind of what
sweet potatoes, or
that's kind of what happened. We had no idea that this was going to happen. I would say people don't realize what we watch today is like people realizing that they are finding themselves. It's when this lights me up. It's when this is who I am. It's when I love this and I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, definitely. All the epiphanies.
You look excited.
Well, excuse me. All of the epiphanies. Just like, wow, this is just like.
This is what I love.
Not a diet. This is like just my life now.
That's
what
this
is
what we
awesome
heard.
Because diets are like a short-term thing. Or something you're cheating on, just God, or it sounds like something you're giving up. This is nothing but gaining health, gaining flavor in foods and all different cuisines.
It feels like a phenomenon.
Amazing.
It feels like a phenomenon.
It feels like,
listening
holy crap,
to it.
why didn't we know a long time ago?
And why aren't more people wanting to get involved? Which is, we heard that today too. It's the first thing you want to do when you start feeling so good. The first thing you want to do is what?
Is help everybody else.
Everybody. Like, oh my gosh, I have to tell you about how good I feel. But that's almost like that's another distraction to taking care of yourself. And we went through all that.
Exactly. But you feel so darn good.
And I understand why people get into that level of, I've got to tell everybody. So then it was.
Because you feel so darn good.
And people are concerned when I say, hey, listen, don't worry about everybody else. That's not what I mean.
I know, but when you come
another
in,
drink, that walk really got me parched.
When you come in hot like that, though, it is not. It's not as easy for them to digest. No pun intended.
Well, and it's also what we've learned from experiences. It's just so much more powerful when you actually see somebody just doing it, and we learned that the hard way.
Heck yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you just got to get it done. It was exciting. I can't wait already. Every week you guys were dropping the Plantspiration Health. You know what? I'm going to do something right now.
You know what? You're not.
I'm going to, I'm going to ask Chat GPT what the Plantspiration Health Report is.
Really?
Yeah. Do you want to look? No, I'm going to ask.
Go for it. I already know what it says.
What is, and you guys can go ahead right now. You can look up all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah. Ask it right now.
What am I asking?
I don't know.
What is the Plantspiration Health Report?
Usually you ask me. And I say, well, the Plantspiration Health Report is brought to you by Myers Grocery Store.
We love Myers. I actually ran into I was going to say the mayor of Myers.
The mayor
I ran
of
into the mayor of Myers. And I was in such a hustle. And this one moment, I've been waiting to run into him,
Yeah.
and introduce myself and say, I'm the one always in here, filming or getting excited about swinging. Well, I'm like putting my arms out and swinging around in the middle of the produce department like Mary Poppins. So
doing the moonwalk or
yeah,
something.
I'm doing stuff like that. So they switched over. I remember Sean, and I haven't really met this new guy. And I am like the one time, usually I'm all cool, calm, collected.
Yeah.
Hey, skipping through. This is my family in here. And I am like hair halfway over.
It
wind
wasn't your
blowing.
normal day.
It wasn't my normal day. I was running around. I had something under my armpit. I'm holding something over my shoulder. And then I was like, hi. And then I'm just realizing this wasn't the time to do this. But now I'm standing here like, let me give you my card. Cannot find my card in my pocket. I've got the wrong coat on. Like it's spring. When one day it's winter, one day it's summer, and I've got different jackets and my cards all. So I just, my 10-second elevator pitch turned into, I'm sorry I even introduced myself right now, but we'll take two. Then I ran into Larry. Larry, I said, I finally ran into the manager. I said, can you let this guy know that I love you guys? And this is like my biggest, that I need sponsorship, and this is how I'm going to get it together. So the Plantspiration Health Report is a weekly check-in and a celebration station where Plantspiration members anonymously and proudly report their wins, health milestones, and progress on their journey to living a plant-powered life. But it's so much more than just numbers. It's proof that lifestyle medicine works, and it's building a data-backed movement that shows the world when people eat their plants off, lives change.
That's right. Wow. That's amazing.
This is
that
what it
thing
says.
is so smart.
Here's what members can report each week. Well, I saw Dr. Khan using it. He's like Googling. He's like searching, who is Dr. Khan? The leading, most popular plant-based lifestyle medicine cardiologist. Dr. Khan, you don't know it either, but we are huge fans, and thank you for all of your work and your he's reading research off every day.
Oh yeah.
So that's my kind of stuff. So here's what members can report each week: pounds lost, medications reduced or eliminated, energy levels improved, sleep quality, exercise, movement goals, dopamine boosting habits completed, and wins like I batch cooked or I didn't eat the donut.
Wow.
Then there's a whole bunch of, this is like, what? There's a whole list of stuff.
It doesn't.
What do you have?
It doesn't have like feeling happier. I got like
Is that the health report you're reading right now?
Yeah.
I told you I was a little lost
feeling
today.
happier, right?
I love that. Thank you.
I see like a ×4, like how many people, more focus, bunch of people, lighter, feeling lighter. That's awesome.
These are those.
One person said, I'm down 10 inches, like measuring all over.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Look, I'm all over the place. I'm like, give me a 5. Give me a fist bump. Amazing.
Let's not forget. Here, and everybody is saying more energy. Everybody. I mean, that is hands down more energy.
Hold on. If you're listening to this right now, I just want you to take that in. And I mean, you're walking, you're moving around, you're doing this. Why aren't we thinking of these goals every day when we wake up? Like, I want more energy. I want to feel great. Well, this is what you're seeing over here. And how are they doing this? Yes, it's the food, but there's so much more than that.
Yeah. It's like every day, man, they're doing it. They're
And what are they doing, John? Last week we heard that we were down 1,500 pounds. You're not telling me anymore through the week. Right. I have my calls. No doubt. I'm hearing a little bit of information from people, but ultimately it's getting tallied up every week. I can't see the numbers,
let's
drum roll, please.
Hold on, no. Let's remember,
back it up.
It is not. Let's not forget about the shrinking tumor. No.
Shrinking. There we go. The claps. Shrinking tumor. She did a scan.
And a no fatty liver.
Reversal of fatty liver disease.
That's awesome.
Like, come on.
Nice.
I'm so happy for people.
And people checking in, and last week was 1,500 pounds last week.
1,500 pounds.
Yeah. This week we're at 1,540.
Kale, yes.
Kaling it over here.
This is amazing. Another 40 pounds this week
Yeah,
of people clocking in and saying, you know what? We're getting healthier.
that's right.
We're bringing healthy back.
That's right.
Like this is what's happening this has been going on for 20 weeks.
I know, and you know how they're doing that.
This gets me excited.
They're like really like chilling. They're taking a break from their social medias and news.
Hold on, back that up. You're just spilling this out, and people are like, "What?"
Well, that's how they're crushing it. I'm just saying.
We've been talking about a lot of this stuff. We've been working a lot of this into the program. You know, stress management is one of the pillars. So I tap in to. Am I too far? I tap in.
I don't know.
Sorry, we were just.
I think you're good.
Mic check.
I'm
Mic
good.
check. I'm tapping into those tools to not just talk about and read the book on how to be healthier, how to be happier, what tools for stress management or self-help books or success books. We're getting into the action phase. People are actually doing it every day. Every day there's.
It's because the
let's go to the gym.
Evidence-based, things and that we learn, we're
That's
putting
amazing.
into action.
They're putting it into action.
Maybe you should tell them while we're not doctors, we're deeply knowledgeable in whole food, plant-based nutrition, and the extensive scientific evidence that supports it.
It's true. It's how people are doing it. And Plantspiration takes a lifestyle medicine approach. So I don't know, maybe you're listening to the first time, for the first time to this. Plantspiration is a program, Plantspiration program. We teach nutrition education and cooking classes. We have an incredible support system of people doing this successfully, and a tremendous amount of people doing successful things, getting their health back, getting their life back. And a lot of people have been, familiar with this plant-based stuff. They've struggled. They've had a hard time staying on track. We really break those limiting beliefs, those boundaries, and the proof is in the numbers. 1,540 pounds.
Yep. That's how much I've lost since we started it.
This is going to go up and higher.
Awesome. I'm telling you,
this is how are we doing this?
We're doing it. We're staying out. We're like relaxing with all the stuff incoming. We're really making more focus on ourselves. We're dropping vices. We're not like drinking and smoking and eating.
That came in the beginning.
And things and
we dropped that right in the beginning.
This is how people are doing it. They're planning out their routines, good new healthy habits. They're journaling. They're meditating. They're crushing
John's
it.
dropping the secret sauce.
A clear view of their why they're doing this,
But everybody comes in and they're a little like, I came for a menu.
I need to lose weight.
I need to lose weight. I need to do these things. Isn't it impressive watching what's going on?
Yeah.
That's finding yourself.
Because no matter what they come here for, it's the same eat your plants off prescription of our whole food plant-based lifestyle medicine approach.
And they're getting it down. They're way more confident than ever. They're so successful. They're so successful. Thank you.
Thank me.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Just for I needed support, you know what I mean, when we started this and we didn't expect it to get as big as it has gotten, and I'm so grateful for that every day. I know that the demand of this has definitely impacted our life.
Oh, yeah.
The way things were going. I had this idea, let's just do Plantspiration. But it's everything that I've manifested.
We need a podcast.
We did, well, because we had to tell everybody.
Yeah.
We're just trying to put the good information out there, the inspiring stuff. I mean, Plantspiration is about educating, motivating, and inspiring people, and that's what we're doing.
That's right.
During the week. But I wanted to unplug in here and kind of talk about who we are, what we're doing, and now episode 20. This is the perfect time to start. We really do need to start getting some of these members, and they've asked, like, can we get some interviews in here?
Yeah, we will.
That's what the premise will be.
Hey, I'll be honest. I got to take a minute to figure out the podcast thingy, having to come in, and it's
we're working that out. So. And starting this
practicing to do.
Starting this podcast was about challenging our own limiting beliefs. Hey, let's start something new. And we're feeling what we have. It was a long time ago that we did this. This is like a new challenge, but with the same plan.
For
you
sure.
still have to do the same things to success. But I think we have a better, like we know what we did before. We were more mindful. We were meditating. But now it's way more focused because we know that this is how we manifest into, hey, we're
Yeah,
just sitting here
definitely.
having fun and we're having a good time.
Yeah. Since we're having fun and having a good time,
Well, let's go.
I actually was working on some questions just to like interview you a little bit.
Hold on.
Yeah. You don't even have, this is off the cuff, in the rough.
Did you
Don't worry, it's not going to be tough.
You're going to interview me.
Yeah, well, a little bit, just a little.
I like
We
this.
know who you are and all this stuff. I mean, you could just use your chat GP
What comes
or
up?
whatever it
I
is.
haven't Googled me.
Just Google
searched.
you. It just says you're a plant interventionist. And
I love that.
It's pretty cool, actually.
That's what I do. I come in and that's the thing. A lot of people are trying to tell their friends, and that's how that started, by the way. Let's tell the story of that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people would be like, oh, I'm trying to tell my friend, or something. I would say, just give me 5 minutes. And this has happened live in front of people. Give me 5 minutes with somebody and I'll do an intervention. And the approach is a true intervention.
Yeah.
I go and I take the same steps that a interventionist would take. I'm not forcing anything. I'm not explaining. I break it down the same way.
Yeah.
This is what's going on.
But it's a family secret. We're not going to share it here.
We're not going to share it here.
It's
But
pretty freaking amazing when you see somebody like, wow, just.
If you need a plant intervention, you can absolutely reach out to me, Stefanie at plantspiration.org, and we can set that up. I've had an opportunity to work with a lot of people this way. They're concerned.
Yeah.
And I don't come in like, hey, this is what you got to do.
Yeah,
It's a matter of, I'm really grateful that somebody wants to take the opportunity to listen for 5 minutes to what I'm going to say. They get to ask me any questions. And I kind of just, I'm really known for, do you want me to tell you what you want to hear? Or do you want me to tell you the truth?
At least they're going away with the information.
Basically.
Now,
And I'm here when you're ready.
choice
Yeah,
of
I'm here when you're ready.
Whenever we're here.
It's not like you got to do this or it doesn't work like that. This
It only
is
works
all
if you send
about
me all your money.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work like that. That's exactly what
The opposite.
I can't-
That's what's out there, and I see it, and I'm like, not all your money, but
my currency is getting people
doesn't-
healthy.
yeah.
I get to do this every day. I'm very grateful, and I'm anxious to know what your questions are. I don't know what's coming.
Oh my gosh, me neither.
I don't like not being in control, so I don't know what's coming at me right now.
All right.
I just leaked my own secrets out.
Well, this is a quick
Take a
one.
drink.
This is like a here. How about you know what? Right from the beginning, we're gonna say let's rewind a moment to when our plant-based journey started. What was your first thought when your daughter said she wanted to go vegan?
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. I had a family member that was vegetarian, and I just was the biggest.
Wow.
I was just like, that's so ridiculous. Like, I said some not nice things about it,
Yeah.
but I didn't know any better. I was
No, we
listening
didn't.
to what somebody else told me. That whole moment, like before the world told me what to think about it. Because where did I
Exactly.
get that opinion that it was
don't
a
know.
terrible idea?
Yeah, it was like it should have been a good thing knowing that here they're standing up for what they believe.
But
in.
hold on now, when you say that is a different level. There's like 3 different levels.
What?
There's the health part, which I slammed right away. That's dumb. Being vegan isn't healthy. Okay. Then there's the ethical that you just came in and said, and there was no argument there.
No.
That was it. That's what got me. Well, I supported it because of that. I was like, all right. I mean,
Yeah.
when you think about it,
I can
when you
understand
think
that, but
about
you're gonna
it-
die. How are you gonna get your protein and stuff? Your
Yeah,
calcium?
but when she said that nobody was harming anything to survive, that
it's
really
like,
hit me. And
Made you
it's
think.
true. It made me think. That was a little part of finding myself. I was told that we had to use animals to survive. We had to eat animals to survive and thrive. I mean, and when we would go fishing, I couldn't even put a worm on a hook.
Yeah.
I couldn't. And the neighbor, when we had those catfish and that happened, like I was just sickened.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't like zoos. I never liked going to the zoos.
No.
Why did
That's
all that
terrible.
bother me?
I don't know.
Maybe that's who I really was.
Yeah. I mean, exactly.
That bothered me. the petting zoos, all that stuff. I felt bad when I went. And then I felt bad that I felt that way. Like,
The
oh my gosh,
exploitation of it just
but
kinda
I didn't even
got to you.
understand
No.
that. But we weren't taking the kids to all the Sea Worlds and all the zoos. We did it one time, and I was just like, I felt bad getting on a horse.
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know. I remember being at a circus once, and
We were like, we don't like
we gotta
this.
go. This just
I didn't
we're out.
like it.
No.
But I don't know who else feels that way. Has that ever crossed your mind? Have you ever been in a circus and you just thought this doesn't seem right?
Well, yeah. Well, you hear all that shit about them stampeding and everything. It's like,
That-
yeah, I bet.
Yeah, they're
Look
mad.
at, they're exploited. They're like, you're paying them in peanuts, literally.
Remember that? And then we watched that documentary, The Elephant in the Living Room. And then it was just like, look, you just start really realizing, like, what are we doing? You've got these animals that you can go get illegally. Everybody's got them in every town, is what this documentary was about.
Right.
Somebody over here has got a crocodile. Somebody's got a baby cub or a lion or a tiger. There's 23 or 35. There's like 20 tigers within a 10-mile radius.
23.
They were
me
right
not
up here.
having it.
It's unbelievable. And I'm not like out on the trails freaking out.
Is that
but
your answer to number 2? If
I'm
you
sorry, I
could go
missed the
back
question.
and give your past self one piece of advice about starting this lifestyle, what would it be?
Wait a minute. The first question was, I thought it was ridiculous for her to do
For your
this, but we
yeah.
talked about all things. And then I found out the environmental reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Do the research. Really start thinking about this. 80% of the land is used to produce crops to feed animals.
I mean, if she didn't come home and want to do that, we
would
probably,
never
we
have
wouldn't
known.
be doing this. Yeah.
We would never be doing this.
So that's amazing.
That's what made me search, how long could you live without meat? That's what made me question everything. That's what, keep going.
So if you could go back
Now
and
you
give
got
your
me going.
past self one piece of advice, starting this lifestyle, what would it be?
Trust your instincts. That just came out of, like, I didn't trust your instincts.
That's awesome.
It goes back to me talking about how I felt seeing animals and hurting animals, or like when I was pregnant, I couldn't look at the meat. Now I go back and I realize, like, maybe that was something natural going on.
Yeah, well,
but I
it's
was
like, this
told,
isn't right.
you need that to have
Like
a
this
healthy.
was a life,
I didn't
this
know. So I would say trust your instincts, because this was a lot of instinct pulling me in this direction, but society and people and doctors and all of that stuff is what's really made this hard to stick to in the beginning.
Right.
Thus why we started Plantspiration. We knew right out the gate, we're going to need some support here. And we had the 5 of us.
Yeah.
That's how we knew.
That's how we knew. The community, the tight-knit.
Not going to lie, I like the questions. Keep them coming.
It was great, What was the biggest challenge of getting the whole family on board with plant-based eating?
There wasn't.
It really wasn't. No, everybody was like ready for it.
But it was my approach.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was.
It was hyped up because I was excited, for real.
Yeah, definitely.
We were not in a good place.
No.
The kids were getting the same diet that I had, the same habits, same unhealthy habits of dieting, going to Weight Watchers, limiting calories, doing keto, cutting carbs, trying to exercise and getting nowhere. It was depressing. It was sad. We had chronic diseases creeping up, and we know it. We know it.
But it felt like we kind of were started for a couple of days, like to make, we felt good right away.
We went 100% right out the gate. So I wouldn't go back and change a thing, because when I go into something, I want to go 100%. We just did it. Yeah, I would have just done it sooner. And we learned. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. Okay, I just said, we're just going to eat these plants. We eat so much raw wheat, and we just started feeling good. Yeah.
I got a question. What's the funniest or most disastrous meal you've ever tried to make?
Nothing.
Oh, I remember a turkey a long time ago. Didn't you cook it with the bag of stuff inside it still?
Oh my gosh!
Like our first one together as a couple.
You're talking in general the most disastrous?
Anytime, yeah.
I had the worst salmonella.
Yeah. Oh wow.
That was most disastrous over a turkey, because we were.
It was
gross.
stuffing.
It's like I don't even want to talk about it, but it was. I accidentally ate raw meat.
raw
I should have known
stuffing that
then.
wasn't
Like,
in the oven
if
yet.
you eat raw vegetables, you don't get sick.
Yeah, you don't.
Okay. We're getting sick off of vegetables because of the drainage from
The farm,
the farm
fields
and that
of
kind of stuff
animal
is how we
turkey.
get that stuff. So, first of all, that should have been a sign many, many years ago. That was like 1995. I got so sick from that. I was like, I'm
That
never.
was too much.
Anyway, next.
Yeah. Be honest. What's one plant-based food you still struggle to like? Is there any?
I have some. I have a little bit of trouble with beets unless they're pickled.
Yeah.
That's it though. But
Yeah,
I like rutabagas now.
That's full on dirt.
I haven't tried like a daikon. Is that? There's things I haven't tried. Am I saying that?
Yeah,
right?
I don't even want to like that
There's-
smelly fruit. Mm-mm.
Oh, durian.
No.
I've not. I can't do durian fruit yet. But
No, I'm not even walking through the market.
it was in front of me and I was like not doing it. But I would say, if anything, I have way more of an appreciation for food, flavors, cuisines, and nothing is. I'll try it
Yeah,
as long as it's not doesn't have a mother or a face.
exactly. So listen,
this.
You lost 100 pounds, and altogether we lost
Still.
like 250. What was the most surprising benefit of your transformation?
My self-confidence.
Nice.
Did you know that was coming?
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
My self-confidence. I went from what felt like a zero to a hero to myself. I just had such low self-confidence. I didn't know who I was. I was a mom. I was drinking every day. I was funny. I was all these things. I was a good friend. I was a, good wife. I was just trying to be good at what I was for everybody else.
Definitely. No, that
Makes
was great.
sense, right?
Yeah, completely.
I wasn't good to me.
No, you weren't. So that was really
I
good.
wasn't good to me. So my self-confidence
That was finding yourself.
And it wasn't-
being good to you.
and I didn't gain the self-confidence after I lost the 100 pounds. That self-confidence came in at about 3 days in.
Yeah. Wow.
It's fair.
It was immediate. We were on the right track.
I
to
was
feel
like, I
getting
know
our
what I
life
want.
back.
Yeah, I was like, I'm doing this. And then I started researching like, what do I do next? But I love that question.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
555.
Let me ask, what's one non-scale victory that meant more to you than the weight loss?
Being able to walk again.
Nice.
I mean,
Yeah.
my knees are trashed. I cannot regrow cartilage. I've had 4 meniscus repairs. I can't believe I'm sitting here like
Let
this.
me ask you, piggyback off of that. Were there any moments where you were wanting to quit?
Of course.
Or what kept you going?
Hope that it was going to get better. And that I already had made what kept
You
me
had felt it.
what kept me going is like I teach today about micro wins. I just kept focusing on what had already happened. I would look at my hands and be like, whoa, they actually feel better. And if this happened like this, so I was constantly talking like I would talk to the kids, like,
And
come on,
that picture you took of you
day one.
the first day where you were...
My face was so swollen and inflamed. And I didn't even know what that was.
No. I mean,
Inflamed?
inflammatory diet. What? Is that? You were like literally...
And
just like
and what
puffed
people
up
don't
and
realize
looked
is
swollen.
I was a professional dieter.
Yeah.
I mean, I know how to diet. I know how to stick to something. I would
You got a
crush it.
trophy room down there.
I do. And are you talking about in the recipe cabinet? Like all the different books and recipes and programs, and I kept some of it. My self-confidence, that is probably my biggest.
Yeah.
Being able to walk again,
It's awesome.
not
yeah.
being so sick, laid up.
Oh, okay. Now let me ask you about like your coaching and everything and the
thank
community. This is really awesome.
Thank you guys for being here for this.
Again, it's on a Saturday. I really see people's progress. Well, even posted in the group.
This is so nice.
I see the progress of their plates and their workouts and their things they're doing. And
It's amazing, isn't it? Like seriously,
yeah.
it's amazing. I'm so proud of our work together.
Oh yeah, certainly, definitely. I love it. But what's the most common excuse people give for not trying a plant-based diet? And how do you shut that down?
There's a lot of excuses people give, and I'll shut all of them down with when you're ready, I'll be here for it. And I'm not making you do anything.
No.
When you're ready,
But you're worth it.
but the most common excuse is I have to travel. I can't pack a lunch. It's too expensive. I'm worried about my protein. I can't eat that much. That's a big, big one I hear from people. I can't eat that much. You can.
You can.
And you will see the results.
I mean, I know I could eat that much.
Ask me the question again.
What's the most common excuse people give you for not trying a plant-based diet?
I'd like to change my answer, please.
Okay.
Limiting beliefs.
Alex will take limiting beliefs for 500.
Limiting beliefs is the number one thing that gets people from reaching their goals.
That is it. Let me ask.
But we certainly take care of that at Plantspiration because it's just every Saturday we just hear a room of people going, I used to think like that. Or I would say, who here had limiting beliefs before? And everybody would raise their hand. And then it's beautiful when you see the sea of people who are relatable. So our stuff is very interactive. I mean,
awesome.
We're like this. I'm putting my hands behind my head, kicking
there.
back. Like I'm watching everybody just loving like, this is great to hear that you went through this too. Now I know I'm really going to get this down. This is great to hear that I went through all this struggle or that I've been plant-based for 20 years and I've never had this much success. Like that's what this is. That's what we get in here.
Yeah. I think it's great when you're like, oh, wait until you hear what she says. Because, you've had your coaching call with them during the week, and I don't know what's
kind of on the side. I'll mute it.
Watch.
I'll mute it, and I'll be like, listen to this. You're going to be like,
it's
what?
Awesome.
And then they drop this magnificent, losing 10 inches.
Dude,
anyway,
that's
next
awesome.
question I love.
If someone is plant curious but overwhelmed, what's the simplest way to start?
Get in Plantspiration. I mean,
Done.
You need a community. You need a community to be consistent. And everybody who shows up is seeing success. That is just results typical.
Yeah.
And it's scary to get into a new group. It's like, what is this? I've been in all these other groups before. There's a lot of that. But
you got to hear the people that are like, I've been in all the groups and there's nothing like
and
this.
nobody's saying anything negative. It's just you.
It's super supportive because that's how life should be.
Yeah,
everybody's
absolutely.
always shitting on everybody's shit, and it's not nice.
There's none of that in here. There's none of that. It's
zero.
amazing.
This is awesome. You've worked with so many people. Like, I don't want you getting personal, but do you have a favorite transformation story that gives you chills?
I mean, there's so. I had a guy whose cholesterol was like in the 400s, and I mean, it was quickly. He was running his own labs, and that was in a matter of days, weeks, we got that sucker down. Of course, there's that type 2 reversal, the cholesterol. That was in 3 weeks. That was one of my fastest. My first one was in like 3 weeks as well, back in 2017. That was in 3 weeks too. Somebody lost like over 100 pounds. It's there isn't
Somebody's
just one.
Lost over 200 pounds.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on.
We've got tumors shrinking. We've got people reversing fatty liver disease. I got a call at like 4 a.m. that somebody was pregnant after having infertility issues,
till like
PCOS.
7 or 8, but I enjoyed the text. It was early.
No, you can text. You guys can text me anytime. I'm so grateful I get to have these experiences with people.
Heck yeah.
Like, I'm glad I just stopped listening to what other people said and started doing what I love because
exactly.
This is my purpose.
Yeah,
like I just love what I do and I love that I get to unplug and kind of,
That's right. Let's do a little rapid fire, little fun question thing.
This is how I want to feel every day.
No overthinking.
Oh, okay.
What's your go-to plant-based junk food?
The French fries.
Okay.
Oh, and the mango. Like I love the mango. Dried mango.
Yeah, those are good.
The dried mangoes are like, if I need anything like where okay, go on.
Yeah, that's a naughty. But it's all
air fried
natural.
potatoes. They feel like.
They feel like it, but
my gosh. And then I like our cheese sauce over everything. Like that's a whole nother story. Guys, I love everything. I love pasta.
What's a favorite like family around, like our family? Not a big crowd, but I put
lasagna.
Big crowd, but Yeah,
Like we make
right?
lasagna every
Italian.
time. It's real. We just started making
Or
the same
those,
stuff.
or the taco bowls, or
Oh,
it's
for
either
the
taco
love
night or
of,
Italian night, one or the other,
we could just eat
or it's
pasta
sushi,
or
or
yeah,
it's see, we can eat everything
we're still
being
doing it. Keep
plant-based. You
going.
guys are
And then
crazy. All right, one ingredient you couldn't live without.
kale,
Okay,
nooch.
nooch is
We
mine.
both just were like, what nooch?
Nooch.
I loved this, by the way.
Worst diet myth that drives you crazy.
Oh my God, we got to cut calories.
Oh,
For the love of flippin' kale, son of a goodness.
yeah.
If I hear, like,
If I hear
one
you're
more
gonna
time,
cut
your
I'm gonna
calories,
cut your tongue out.
or I need to cut off my calories, or
You
seeing
better
things
just
like
cut it
I
out.
had 1,200 calories, and I feel for people. I am not like, what in the heck?
That makes my stomach
It
growl when
makes
somebody
me-
says that.
It makes me sad that it's gotten to this point where people are starving themselves, and this is why everybody's sick from malnutrition. Lack of nutrition is the leading cause of death. Lack of nutrition is the leading cause of metabolic disease. Like, we have a problem with people cutting back carbs, which we need to survive, cutting back calories, which we need to thrive, and thinking that we need to eat meat to survive. Can we put that down? That was like a whole rhyme.
That's great. We'll get it back on the record. And
So anyway, I'm pumped up about this stuff.
I love it. If you could have dinner with any plant-based advocate, living or dead, who would it be? Who would it be?
T. Colin Campbell.
Oh, very cool. Cool. Well, sit around a table
Yeah.
with Ornish.
I already got to hang out with Esselstyn and Ornish. He would be
Ornish,
great too.
yeah.
I've gotten to, I've had the opportunity to sit with Neil
Yeah,
quite a few times.
that's cool. That's cool.
I guess,
Heck yeah.
people who got the science, people who did the studies, like, I'm fascinated by this. They did it. They have they are the source. I like the source. I mean,
Yeah, I want to shift gears if I could into like a behind the scenes Plantspiration. What's something about you that people would be surprised to learn?
that I have a ripping case of ADHD. Is that?
Well, there could have been a
I don't
worse
think
answer
that.
than that.
I don't think that it's a secret. I mean, I don't really think it's an issue. I mean, it's my superpower.
You're just Ricochet Rabbit in disguise.
And when I meet with my mentor and he says things like, this is like how an entrepreneur thinks, and this is, and I'm very level-headed. I'm very mellow about things.
There's so many facets of the business that you can't just sit there and think about one thing. You got to be over here thinking about that and that and that and that.
It's a whole machine.
Look at it, it's all coming together. It's working.
Have you ever seen me more calm in my life?
No. No, I think you're pretty darn calm. For everything you're doing, you're calm as a cucumber.
Yeah, I'm just pretty laid back about it all. Well, because,
You can't be worked up by shit you can't control. Even
no
though
way.
this is like, ooh, this is your business. Oh, you can't control. It's just life coming at you. You can't. So you got to just be chill.
I'm doing it. It's happening. Everything I manifested, everything I wanted is happening right now.
That's right.
And that's what I just start off with every day. Like, I'm doing it.
What if Plantspiration had a theme song? What would it be?
Highway to Health. Highway to Health.
I wonder if we could do that on here. We're gonna
That's
get
what,
shut
or
down.
hold on.
Oh,
The one, hey, I'm on vacation every single day because I love my occupation.
and what we're gonna do here now is, I love that song too. What's next for Plantspiration? Any big dreams we haven't tackled
We're
yet?
going to be doing a retreat once we
Nice.
once we renovate. We're going to be doing some retreats, and there's going to be a TV show, the Plantspiration. We're bringing healthy back, or the Plant Interventionist, where I get out there and we go out there and we really meet with families, and we get in their house and we rip
And we
through your
get 'em going on
pantry,
the Eat Your
and we
Plants
get
Off program.
and we get people going. Like, I want to get in people's homes, get all over the place and say, this is how you do it. Like, let's give them a hand. Like, we know what this is like. We've been through it. So
That's right. We're going to get down to it, and we're going to do
we're going to
it.
get through it. So we're going to be doing stuff like that. And there was something else. The show is big. Like that has to happen. And I want to keep going around to the people that have had success stories and,
Oh, yeah.
get in their
Yeah,
towns
yeah.
and
Yep.
start saying, hey, this is what she did and this is what he did and
That's
this is
right.
what these guys did. So I want to go around and, interview these people and
That's right. We're going to start
all the people that
on
are,
the podcast. We're going to start with that and move up from there.
all the people that want to tell their neighbors, their friends, their mailman, we're going to do a big party
Well, definitely.
and
I love that.
bringing healthy back.
So, like a big finish to this, let me ask
Yeah.
you this. If you could send one message to anyone listening who feels stuck in their health journey, what would it be?
You can do this.
Mm-hmm.
You can do this. It's going to be okay. You can do this. You just have to turn out all the noise, listen to your instincts. You found the information. You already have it. You know what you need to do. Now you just need a little support system to keep building up that self-confidence, because I know how it feels to have failed so many times at something.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. We all get it here, actually. It's not just me.
Wise words.
We all get it. It's okay. You can turn it around, and seeing other people do it with you is probably the greatest thing you could see in here. It feels good to feel good. So with that, I think this is time to wrap it up, because I'm ready for some French fries right now.
Okay. I'm
And
thinking
even maybe
actually
cheese
potatoes
sauce.
and broccoli and tofu
What a
bites and
opportunity, by the way, all of you who are listening. We've gotten over 338,000 views on our YouTube,
Thank you.
14,000 views on the podcast.
Right.
We're incredibly grateful that you guys are taking the time to listen to this stuff. We
Definitely.
hope that this inspires you. This is what this is about.
Hearts.
We're grateful that you're watching it. We're getting the clicks and all that stuff. But what we really want is to pay it forward and say, we hope this inspired you to eat your plants off for your health, the animals, and the planet, and be real. Find who you are, what you love, what speaks the truth for you. Get aligned and start eating your plants off with us.
That's
You guys,
right.
see you in
Crush
Plantspiration.
it.
Have a great
You
week.
guys are awesome. Be
Episode
cool.
20 done.
I know. Hon.